Hello everyone, my name is Master Hotchkiss. I'm a 7th degree black belt at the Kongnawa Martial Arts Institute located in Wickliffe, Ohio. I'm accompanied by Master Cintron, and we're going to be demonstrating 10th Gup White Belt distant defenses. Distant defenses are something that are done interactive with each other, but they also start off shadowed, meaning that they're done without a partner. Sometimes you can practice these without a partner and you can still get the job done. So we're going to start off with distant defense number 1. As I said in one of my earlier videos, we start everything from what's called a jumbi position, which is a ready stance. So, jumbi! Now, starting off, I'm going to talk these through very slowly, then we're going to go interactive and we're going to show you from both sides what this distant defense looks like interactive. So distant defense number 1, when we go to do this, we're going to do it by the elements. So number 1, we're going to look at our opponent. Number 2, we're going to chamber our hands. We're going to prepare them for what's called a knife hand block. Number 3, we're going to make our stance. We're going to bring our heel in, we're going to slide our foot forward, making what's called a left back stance. And now we're going to execute a knife hand block. When we do the knife hand block, we're going to stop in this position, and now we're going to move on to what is called the counter attack. We're going to look at our opponent again, we're going to chamber our hands. We don't have to adjust our stance, it's going to stay right where it's at, and then we're going to execute a reverse knife hand strike with a shout. And then, after you complete the distant defense, you want to draw your hands into guard, and you want to slide back a couple steps into a defensive. So now, Master Cintron and I are going to face each other, and before we do anything interactive, we always want to bow. We want to show good respect to our partner and good teamwork. So both of us are going to make a tension position, and we're going to bow. Now, again, when we go to start this, we're going to start in chumbi. Now, with distant defenses, the important thing is if you are working with a partner, the actual goal of this is that your partner can actually hit you with the technique when they throw it. So you want to make sure you start close enough to them that you can actually perform the technique correctly. So Master Cintron and I are going to scoot up just a little bit, and we're going to start from chumbi again. Now, Master Cintron is going to go back in what's called the ready position. This ready position is for the attack for distant defense. So Master Cintron is going to chamber her left hand up by her ear, right hand across in guard. She's going to slide her right leg back into a front stance, and she's going to execute a downward block with a shout. That shout signifies that Master Cintron is ready. So now, when I'm ready to do distant defense number 1, I am then going to shout, which tells Master Cintron to attack. We're going to do this first one slow in all parts so that everybody can understand what's going on. So from this position, when I'm here, when I shout, take! Master Cintron is going to fold her arm, she's going to slide up into a front stance, and then she's going to start to throw her punch. As she does, I'm then going to go into distant defense number 1. I'm going to look, I'm going to chamber my hands, I'm going to make my stance, and as my foot slides out, I'm going to execute my knife hand block, knocking her arm out of the way. Once her arm has cleared out of the way, I'm going to continue into the second half. I'm going to look at my target, which is going to be her neck. I'm going to chamber my hands for a reverse knife hand strike. Stance is going to stay the same, and then I'm going to execute reverse knife hand strike to the neck with a shout, and then I'm back into defense zone. So now we're going to return. This time we're going to switch it up. I'm going to do the attack, and I'm going to let Master Cintron perform the technique. That way you can see it from the other side. Again, we're going to do it relatively slowly, but I won't talk through all the elements again. So I'm going to slide back for the attack. When Master Cintron is ready, she's going to shout. Alright, so now we're going to face you again, and this time we're going to move into the second distant defense, which is number 2, obviously. So from this position, we're going to start chumbi. Now, distant defense number 2 is very simple and very similar to distant defense number 1. We're going to start off by looking and then chambering our hands in the exact same position for a knife hand block. When we move our stance, we're actually not going to move. Feet are going to stay right where they're at, hands are going to be here. As the attack comes in, we're going to execute that knife hand block. After we've executed that block, we're just going to chamber our hands and fists, and then we're going to execute a right side front kick to their stomach with a shout. And then we're going to step back into defense. So now, let's do this together. We're going to start off in chumbi. Master Cintron is going to go back for the attack. She chambers, she slides, she shouts, telling me she's ready. Now, I want to think about what the technique's going to be before I shout. If I shout and I'm not ready, I could get hit by Master Cintron. So now, from this position, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to shout. The attack comes in, I'm going to chamber, I'm going to block, guard position, front kick, and defensive. And then we're going to return. And now it's my turn. So I'm going to go back for the attack. Master Cintron is going to do number 2. And then we return. Okay, back to your spot, please. All right, so now moving on to number 3. Number 3 is going to be the oddball. You'll notice with both 1 and 2, we went to what's called the inside of their body, meaning that if Master Cintron has a center line and she puts an arm out, the inside of that arm is toward the middle of her body. Now on number 3, we're going to do what's called going to the outside, meaning we're on the outside, the back side of the attacker's body. So now when we go to do this, distant defense number 3, we're going to start off in Chumbi. We're going to look. This time we're going to chamber our hands on the opposite side for a reverse knife hand block. Stance is going to be, toes are going to turn out, right foot is going to do a half circle into a back stance. When we're here, we're going to execute a reverse knife hand block. Okay, knocking the hand away. Then we're going to bring our hands and chamber them for a forearm strike to the ribs. We chamber them, and we always tell everybody it's called kissing fists. So we bring our hands back, just like the fists are kissing. Then we're going to slide our right leg forward into a front stance, and we're going to execute forearm strike with a shout. From this position, we bring our hands up, and we shift back into defensive. So again, we're going to do this interactive. So we're going to start in Chumbi. Master Cintron is going to go back, ready for the attack. All right, and now I'm going to do distant defense number 3. Again, we'll do it a little bit slow. The attack's going to come in. As the attack comes in, I chamber, I turn my foot, slide around, blocking the hand out of the way, hands together kissing fists, sliding my right leg forward, and when I do, I want to kind of put it right behind her right leg. And then I'm going to throw my technique into the target, and then I'm going to slide back into defensive. And then we'll let Master Cintron. And then we return. Okay, so now, moving on, we got 2 more left. We do 5 distant defenses for every rank. So the next one is going to be distant defense number 4, obviously. Distant defense number 4 is a little bit complicated, and it's a little bit harder to do when it's not interactive. But what Master Cintron and I are going to do right now is Master Cintron and I are actually going to turn, and we are going to face that direction. This way you can see this one from the side, because from the front you'll miss some of what's going on. So now, from this position, Chumbi! Now we're going to do distant defense number 4. First thing we're going to do is we're going to look. When we chamber our hand, we're just going to open it up into what's called the tiger mouth position. When we move our feet into our stance, we're actually going to slide our right leg back into a right back stance, and we're going to draw our right hand back. So we slide back, pulling the right hand back, hand is still here. When the punch comes in, we're then going to grab with the tiger mouth. If you want to growl, go ahead and do that, because it helps you remember. Now, the next thing we're going to do is called TTS, turn, tickle, slide. So if you can, try to watch our feet right now. This is the most important part. We're going to turn our toes so they're even. We're going to take the other set of toes, we're going to tickle the back of our heel. Then we're going to slide our foot into front stance. So now we started facing this way, now we're facing the complete opposite direction. We're going to pull their hand forward and up in front of us, and then we're going to execute what's called a wrist break with a shout. There is no defense zone here, so from here you would stay here until we say return, and then you would go right back to Chumbi. So now, Master Cintron and I are going to do this one together. Again, it's not as complicated as it looks, but you just got to take your time. So we make Chumbi again. Master Cintron will go back for the attack. Okay, when I shout, we're going to do number 4. Hey! The punch comes in, I'm going to slide back, draw my hand, other hand comes out, tiger mouth, and I grab a hold of their wrist. Then I do the TTS, turn, tickle, slide. Turn toes, tickle heel, slide in front of their body. Draw them forward and up. Notice their wrist is sticking up in front of my face, and then other hand goes on the back, and we execute the break with the shout. Now, very important, if you're doing this with a partner, you got to go easy on that wrist. The point of this is not to make them tap or get hurt or injure them. It's just to demonstrate the technique with good control and a good shout. Remember, no defense zone on this one. So now, Master Cintron's turn. offense zone again, very straightforward. So now, last one we're going to do, we're going to go to distant offense number 5. This one's straightforward, very simple, no problems with it. So here we go. Chubby. All right, now when we go to do distant offense number 5, we're going to start off, we're looking. We're going to chamber our hands. Okay? Left hand will be pointed straight up, right hand like you're punching your elbow. Stance, you're going to leave your left foot, slide your right one back, making good front stance. Now you're going to execute what's called a circular forearm parry. So as you do this, you're going to circle your arm down, and then you're going to parry their arm sideways. You're not chopping it down like a piece of wood, you're actually pushing it off to the side. From here, you're just going to take your hand, fold it into guard, and now you're going to execute a right side, right hand reverse punch to the stomach with a shot. Once you've completed the technique, hands come into guard and defense zone. You're back. So now, Master Cintron and I will do that interactive. All right, Master Cintron goes back to the attack. Now again, make sure you're close enough that you can execute the techniques correctly if you're working with a partner. Chamber, I slide, punch comes in, pushing it out of the way, chamber, punch, and defense zone. And then we'll trade off. Good. Okay, so those are the basic defenses for white belt level, distant offenses 1 through 5. Those elements that we worked on will apply for every single one of those defenses and every single one that we do here at the school. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. If you need to, get in touch with me. That's it.